podcast number 4.
Yep, we're back again.
How'd you make it? How'd you make it this far? Have you even slept?
Not yet, no.
I don't know how we...
Still going.
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend.
We go hard all week, and then the weekend still no sleep.
Yeah, no sleep.
Podcast time.
Girls, yeah.
Oh, whoa, sir. Money is what's keeping me awake.
Yeah, for sure.
Money is keeping me awake. I don't know what's keeping you
I don't
awake.
want them to imply that we're doing something we're not supposed to be
doing,
right? Because we've been still been up since
I'm
Saturday.
up on the money. I don't know what you're up on. Anyways, carrying on.
You're
leading podcast number 4.
I am again. Once again, I'm back. I'm Anthony from Wall Street Breakdown.
I love when you host.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, you're the best host.
So, who are you? You didn't introduce yourself this time?
I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. I'm letting you host, right? I'm letting you get yours in.
Right, okay.
You're good at it, right? So I just want you to get yours in.
All right, let's look at the news from Monday, November 6th.
We're jumping right into it.
We're just jumping right into it. Let's get it done.
Wow.
Yeah. We look at the Helio Matheson Movie Pass deal. Where the things
they were up. They were up like Tuesday. They got a bump again for God knows what reason. Like, this stuff's getting like a lot of play. We've even given it a lot of play. The fact of the matter is they came right back down the next day. Like, I think it was like a 40-some% bump. They jumped from like 10-something to 14-something. They came back down to $10, which is probably much more back down to earth as well. They find themselves sitting around there going into the weekend, or going into, the start of the week here now. We're talking Sunday night right now. It's one of those things. I just don't see much in it. I think a lot of people are realizing that. It had its run earlier, right? We did a lot of videos where it ran to $20-some, and people probably made a bunch of money and took their money off the table. And I distinctly remember in one of my videos, and you can go back and look, the day before it bombed out from like the top end price, saying Helios and Matheson should take their money off the table.
Oh yeah, I believe you did say that.
And they've lost considerable market cap since then. It's been they've fallen off a cliff, but it's because the actual concept isn't that grandiose. Like, it's just a subscription service to go to the movies. A lot of the actual like Regal and Cinemark and stuff have said they're not really going to work with these guys. Like, so it's a great idea if the market was still there, if people were going to the movies, but nobody's going to the movies, right? So like, who really cares? I don't see the long-term sustainable value in it. Maybe somebody else does. Like, they can feel free to enlighten me, but I just don't see it. We've talked about it enough. Yeah. Movie Pass, Helios, and Matheson. It's speculative. You're just watching money jump around. It was crazy when it was running fast, but now that it's just bouncing around interday, around at the same price point, it is what it is. People wish that it was something more than it is. That's what it is.
Right. Let's take a look at this Disney and Fox deal that's going on.
So Disney wants to buy Fox, or Fox is offering itself up to Disney, or there's a group of the same, like they're working together, something or other. From what we've heard, it's like mainly like the Fox Entertainment brand.
20th Century Fox.
Yeah, like the guys that make the movies and all that kind of TV shows, all that kind of stuff. So it's mainly that from what we've heard. So it's not going to be Fox News, and it's not going to be the Fox Sports stuff.
Right.
It's going to be completely devoid of that. So that's, I guess, going to stay the Fox brand, maybe. Yeah. And if the Fox brand isn't going to move to Disney, maybe Disney's just going to take that stuff over. It's pretty vague. The story's out there, but it's like vague.
So Disney would get back some of the like Marvel characters, like Deadpool and like the X-Men and stuff like that?
I would imagine, right?
So
like if all those licenses are owned by Fox, I would imagine that's probably part of the reason why they're pursuing it. Not to mention just bringing on what is a pretty big treasure trove of stuff. Fox is not lacking in material, right?
No,
so if it's done by the right people, and I'm not going to hate on Fox. Fox is a good company, been around a long time, but like Disney probably does things better than Fox on a case-by-case basis. So, if somebody was going to do something right with a big group of assets, you'd probably want the best company to do it. So we hear no news, no sports. So that means like big, like Fox News, which obviously is a big earnings. That's a ratings generator right there, Fox News, as much as it's a polarizing type of a TV station.
Right.
It generates ratings.
It definitely does.
They're going out of style, right? And the sports, Fox has a lot of sports channels, so I guess they're really trying to just move into that completely and just really be about that. So, again, we haven't heard much price-wise or if this is going forward. I think there's just a lot of talk. People love to talk. We love to talk. It's interesting to talk about. Disney closed the week at $104.78. That was up. It was up a little bit. Like, it was up from $100 maybe on the start of the week. So, it's up on the news. Like, it's definitely... It's up on the news, but it's up on the earnings, even though the earnings are bunk. Like the earnings later on from Thursday are bunk. I guess we'll get to that on Thursday, but
We have another story, just one more from Monday. The Broadcom. What's going on with that?
well, I mean that's actually still going on. There's stuff today about it. So Broadcom wants to buy Qualcomm. Like those are the two big giant technological companies, like two big semiconductor companies. This would be the biggest merging of tech companies of all time. Like these guys are huge. 103 billion. It's a lot. It's $70 a share, Qualcomm. But I hear Qualcomm doesn't think that the value is really there. Like they don't see it at $70 a share. So there's been talk that Broadcom is even willing to go in and do like a actual like hostile takeover.
Right.
Like the board of directors is up for vote. I think it's the 8th of December for Qualcomm, and like they could go in theory, be voted in by the shareholders, and then have a board that's like, yeah, no, yeah, do the Broadcom deal, right? Like that's the deal we'll go with. So like Qualcomm's. They find themselves in a lot of litigation with a lot of companies. Like Qualcomm is, this could be huge. I don't know if regulators would let it go through just because of the size of the two companies and how much, how much it would affect things. It would affect things, I think, on a pretty big level.
Substantial, right?
Yeah, on a pretty big level, right? So I'm not entirely sure if like regulators would let it go through, but as of right now, what we hear is Broadcom is being pretty persistent about going after it. It's like the news we got early this week was the offer. Was the fact that they were going for it. They were being very brazen that they were going for it, that they wanted Qualcomm, and they were going for it, pulling no punches about it. They put like a straight offer on the table, right? Like the $70 a share price, which is like a big, that's a big premium to what the price actually is right now.
Oh yeah,
yeah, sure. It's a big premium. But then today we found out that they were willing to go the other route,
right,
and actually go for it aggressively if they had to.
Moving on to Tuesday, November 7th. What's going on with the Amazon pharmacy?
So you're not falling asleep, are you?
No, I'm good.
You look like you might be falling asleep on me.
No.
You might be falling asleep on me. I might be hosting this myself by the end of this.
I got this.
I might be losing my voice, but you might be falling asleep. So Amazon's got licenses for pharmacies. We've talked about this. There's a bunch of videos on this. I've done videos on this. So I guess just to like wrap it up, Amazon's going to get into the pharmacy business somehow. We see CVS kind of scrambling, trying to buy Aetna or buying Aetna, kind of divesting what they're doing into a kind of a different branch of the medical field. I mean, we know Amazon's going to do it. They've got the shipping in order. They've got that quick ordering processing. It's just so down to a T now with Amazon that it only seems like the next step, right? Like it's very easy for them to be able to get stuff out quick.
Right,
they're going to have the money, so they're going to have the buying power to get into generics like the size of like other major pharmacies like a Walmart. So I mean,
let's hope it's like a whole new avenue for them.
Yeah, and it's almost like Kismet, right? When you talk about the shipping, like that's the main thing is the shipping. Like it's just so expedited. They have it all just already there, and like medication is just boom, boom, boom. Like you can get that done, right? Like so, Amazon is primed to, I think, move into this. I think it's only a matter of time. So
I think they do well in that sector.
Yeah, oh for sure. They seem to do well in everything. Like they move into a lot of different stuff. Like okay, there's been some things that haven't done great or haven't like had the sustainability that I think a lot of people thought they were going to have, but like they've done really well, and they go into a lot of different avenues. Like you got to give them the kudos for taking like a lot of chances. They're a company that just they go for a lot of different things in a lot of different directions, like stuff you wouldn't see them go for normally, like that you wouldn't expect, right? So this I kind of expect, and I think a lot of people expect that. I would almost imagine like the idea, I mean, they've got the licenses already, right? Like, so I would imagine a lot of people maybe even have this kind of priced in. The expectation that they're going to do this a little bit, like a lot of analysts are probably thinking about this pretty hardcore. So like, we've done the video on it, right? Like, you could go see the video and read like see the bullet points of what we thought the actual points were. But there's a bunch of good points as to why Amazon's going to probably get into the pharmacy business in some way, shape, or form in the near future.
Oh yeah, in the near future. Let's look at Michael Kors' earnings. How they do.
Yeah, okay, so we're not going to do earnings like we've been doing them. If you want to look at the earnings call, we'll look at the earnings call. So Core's earnings was good. It wasn't what it could be, but like in a market like this where like a lot of retail's not doing very good, it was still pretty good. Like I would say it was still good enough. They cut more stores than they thought they were going to cut. They've really moved into selling online a lot more than worrying about like their retail locations, even though they obviously are. I mean, that's still their bread and butter, but and because things look best like with the Michael Kors when you can really dress things up, you know, like, and because they're selling a good high end, would you call it medium high end
Probably
luxury
medium
brand?
high-end,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a expensive purse or whatever, you know, like. So it was decent earnings for what we're seeing at a retail. I think it was probably better than decent earnings.
Yeah.
Retail is not something that's doing that great. So I mean, even in an economy that's doing fantastic, retail still seems to be. You get the one out of every 4 or 5 or 6 where you're like, wow, that was a pretty good earnings call. But for the
Right,
most
yeah.
part, it's nothing that's really killing things. So Coors' earnings was decent. They seem to be moving in the right direction. It's a brand that's really strong. I mean, the Jimmy Choo seems to be doing pretty good integration with what they're doing, and yeah, Michael Kors. So it's a strong company. It's not going anywhere, but it's definitely in a dying sort of a sector. But it's probably going to find itself moving into the
Yeah.
right way so that it can still sell its wares. You know what I mean? I don't see it going the way of the dodo bird. That's for sure.
We have one more kind of earnings. Snapchat.
Oh, just garbage, right? Like
Yeah.
I understand like stuff is like fun, but like for the amount of media attention that this gets and like other stuff doesn't get, I don't know. It just kind of bothers me. It seems just silly, like to go over this like over and over again. Like I know we're going over this over and over again, but like it almost seems like where the disclaimer needs to be waved at people, where like I want people to stop and take notice and be like, you can't do this. Like this is the telltale sign of things getting off the rails when you go ahead and invest your money in stuff that just has no firm grasp on where they're going or how
Right.
they're going to execute. That's just not how you invest money. That's not how you believe in a company. You tell me what you believe in that they're doing. In your heart, what intrinsically in your soul can you say, oh my God, they're doing this. I can see it, the same vision that they have with this company. What are they? They're doing nothing. They make no money. It's a thing
Yeah.
on your phone, right? Like the only thing it's primed for is being purchased. Like I was thinking about this, after actually these earnings a couple days later. Who else would buy them? Like it's Amazon's not going to buy them, right? Amazon's not in the market for phones. Microsoft's not in the market for phones anymore.
No, not really,
Samsung and Apple and Huawei and all those companies, they make the devices, but they don't do this. Facebook bought Instagram. This is basically Instagram. So, like, what really is there? Like, who's the company? Like, all I could think of was Alphabet. Like, they could put it on
Maybe,
Android,
yeah.
but, like, why? It's already on there.
It's already on there, right?
Like, what's the
Why
difference? Like,
waste
how
the
much money are you going to make
Yeah.
by, like, spending the money on that, right? Like, so Alphabet was the one company I could come up with, and I don't see why they would do it. Like, out of the big companies that would make a big premium
For
offer
sure,
on
yeah.
this, right? Like, to justify the share price right now. It's nothing. It's just too much media attention. That should have quelled those rumors of Snapchat being anything to talk about. I'd like to feel free to leave a comment and tell me why that doesn't work.
So what went on with Tesla this week?
No, there's actually a couple Tesla stories. Like there's a Tesla story from tonight or from earlier today. Tesla bought Perbix Machine Company out of Minnesota earlier in the week for, I don't know, they gave the guy like 33,000 shares at whatever. Tesla's price is $300 plus. It's a company that they've used. It's like a special fabrication company. It was a small company when they got started using them. They use them for a lot of stuff. Now they're a really large company. They do a lot of big order, like really special fabrication, right? So it's a matter of Tesla just knowing it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't, and you might as well get them in-house. I mean, I can understand where that's coming from. It just seems like the right kind of match. If you can get something for a decent price, and they didn't say what this share trade was. Like they didn't say if Buddy that got it, I can't think of Homeboy's name, but like they didn't say if he could go out and sell the shares tomorrow.
Right.
He might have to hold on to this stuff for a while, right? And I didn't see anything about that, but it's a good pickup. It's a good pickup. If this company does what you need them to do, and they've got the right technicians that do things the Tesla way, and you're trying to do things a specific Tesla way and change the entire dynamic of the automobile industry, if you need to do that, if that's the way it has to be, then I say you need to go out and you need to hedge your bets the best way you can. And that's by bringing in the people that you trust the most. And that's why you would do this, right?
Right.
Why else would you do it? Like, there's no other, they're already working with you. Are you worried that they're going to go and work with, like, another company? Are you worried that they're going to, like, is it going to end up being, like, where Samsung's making the stuff for Apple and they're not making it as well as they're making it for themselves? Like, I don't think Perbix is going to go out or was going to go out and get into other business. They weren't going to, like, team up with somebody else or whatever.
Probably not,
I didn't,
no.
Right? Like, they're probably going to
No.
ride with Tesla. Why wouldn't you?
Why? Yeah, exactly.
Why
Why
wouldn't
wouldn't
you,
you,
right?
right?
Like, so, I mean, it was a matter of just getting a good company in-house and having more systematic control over things with just good people probably on the Perbix line. I would imagine Tesla's probably pretty anal retentive company to work for.
Probably.
But probably still a really good company, understanding company, flexible company to work for. They expect the results, but they probably let you get the results however you feel you need to get them while getting them. You know what I mean? The autonomy to get your work done or whatever. So, good pickup. I thought it was a good pickup.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Let's move on to the SoftBank buys more shares for Sprint.
Yeah. Well, SoftBank's the majority owner of Sprint. They didn't even. I don't think it moved up. It's like 83%. It stayed at 83% or whatever. They bought some on the dip. There was a dip, I think, Monday and a dip Tuesday, coming off the T-Mobile merger stuff that like fell apart. So they bought the dip. I mean, we've talked about SoftBank or whatever you want to call it. It's SoftBank. It's Sprint. It's the same company. They own so much of it. It's the same company. Sprint needs to make more infrastructure changes, and it's going to cost them a lot of money, and they're already in their earnings calls are revenue thick, but earnings terrible. It's just horrible. It's a mess. So, it is what it is, right? It's a company that's so big that it just doesn't turn over the kind of money it once turned over. It's not a growth company anymore at all, right? It's sustainable, but it needs to do a lot of work. Bringing in T-Mobile would have put some of that work off. Let's just put it that way. Now that work becomes a lot more glaring. And for Sprint, they're going to have to put out some money that they don't really have. They're probably going to have to put out quite a bit of debt from this. They're already in debt quite a bit. It's going to drive the share price even lower. But maybe SoftBank has a better idea. Maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe they've got a plan B, and the plan B attack is part of saying, you know what, we're going to go out and make this other move. This T-Mobile move wasn't the move for us. We're going to go make this other move that's going to correct things. So we're going to buy up more shares of the company we already own because we believe in it. So you guys want to let it go and let it dip. We'll buy it. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it's the head fake. Maybe it's they're buying just a nominal amount and just trying to head fake the market and being like, hey, we care. Don't you notice? We think it's good. We think it's so good. Okay, know that we think it's good. I got to take a drink of water.
Let's move on to Wednesday, November 8th. We only got 3 stories here. I like this one, the AT&T Time Warner. What was it, falling out that they have or something like that? Or the deal got shaky a little bit?
They're just, I think they're just putzing around. It seems so funny. They keep talking about it. It's almost like a done deal, right? Even though regulators have been involved with this for so long, to me, it feels like this is the deal that's probably always been tabled that's going to be done, just because it's been taking so long. Right. There's been nothing that's really rocked it, right? So I think everybody's just kind of dragging their feet and making it more difficult to close it. It's so huge, $85 billion, for sure, right? Yeah. It's huge. It's huge for a media thing. So there was talk this week, and I think AT&T CEO Randall Stephenson probably quelled it pretty good when he said he's never been approached about this. But there was talk about CNN having to be sold off from the deal. But apparently that's not even on the table. And Randall Stephenson said something, I'm not quoting it, but to paraphrase, it's something in regards to, that wouldn't even be something he was up for, right? That's apparently he's expecting CNN. Right. That's a part of the deal, right? So kudos to him. Expect CNN. Expect CNN if that's what you want, right? Let it ride. You got to go out and get it how you want it. You're paying a big number value for this company to bring this company in. You're jumping through a lot of hoops right now, I would imagine. You're probably out shaking a lot of hands and kissing babies trying to get this deal done because this is a big deal for your company. Huge. It's huge for, oh my God, the media, telecom industry, the internet industry. It affects everybody. In the United States, it doesn't touch up here very much.
No, not really.
It does from the content standpoint of what some of the content AT&T's subsidiaries do and the content Time Warner does.
Right.
But it doesn't touch up here as much as it does in the US. But in the US it touches there's somebody that it's affecting. Oh, yeah, right? On a money every month level.
Yeah.
It's affecting people, right? So people are dragging their feet, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna get done. I think a lot of people think this is going to get done personally. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you're listening to this and you think I'm wrong about AT&T and Time Warner, you feel free to tell me. But I think this is going to get done.
This Bloomberg story, why retail is about to die. I thought we had covered that pretty good.
Yeah, we just covered that because, we've talked about the retail thing too many times, and for Bloomberg just to kind of co-sign the fact that there's a lot of debt out there, really bad debt. That was, I think, the thing that was the most glaring for me. The most overwhelming thing was the debt was it was next to nothing this year. Like $100 million in bad debt for this year, but next year at a retailer was like 1.9 billion, and like for the next 5 years after that, there was 5 billion a year of bad debt for major retailers. Like, so like, sure, right now a lot of these retailers are getting away with it, but like on the horizon, like very short term, if this economy like this economy's at its peak. What people don't understand is the economy is so peaked that there's nothing better that could happen. And if retail's still dying this horrible death or like having these tepid earnings, that when things just turn a little bit and the lending gets tighter and people start calling in debts, there's going to be no money to go around for retail. Nobody trusts that at all. So then all of a sudden all your stuff comes due. All this debt comes due. You're not going to refinance it with other people. You're just you're done. You're going to be done, right? Like so. Retail, I think this Bloomberg story just reiterated what we've been saying. So I covered it a lot more in depth of what actually Bloomberg said on our video, but I think it covers it. I think it covers it right on the money. Like it's just
for sure.
Yeah, retail is retail and the people who own those malls and all that stuff. That's going to end up being new condos in your city.
Something like that.
Yeah, 20 years from now, it's going to be new condos.
Yeah, it's just more convenient to order offline to get something instead of going to the store, right?
It's going to be middle of the city like condos, like impossible areas to buy like nice new houses where it's all old development. All of a sudden, just strip malls are going to get like torn down because they're going to be useless. People are going to need the 7-Eleven, the gas station. Yeah, unless they have the Tesla car charging in their garage.
Yeah, that's
who even knows? This could go straight Jetsons on us. Who knows how this goes? Yeah, don't fall asleep on me.
No, I'm not. So we did a story on Roundup. I didn't know that it could have caused cancer, but
apparently they said it does.
No.
Apparently no, they said it does. It causes some lymphoma. If you like just hammer it, if you're just I guess bathing in Roundup, it could cause it. But they said it's not to like any levels that any human should be like around on a regular basis. But they were worried about like blood cancer and some other like I don't know, tumor growth or something like that. It's Monsanto that's the company that makes this.
Monsanto.
Yeah, not a very favorable company, right?
No.
A lot of not never, right? Like they're always in litigation. Just the GMO, like people do not like genetically modified stuff. Monsanto, like they make like a seed of corn you can grow like in your kitchen, like on the ground, like it will grow in some light and some water and some dirt. Like it is not
crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, for sure, right? Like it's a science company a lot.
Definitely.
Like, I don't know. I would imagine I'm eating food that like is from Monsanto products. I would imagine.
Could be. Yeah.
How do they make fruit year round and stuff? I don't know. I eat that stuff, so I'm not entirely sure. I don't know enough about agriculture to tell you that I'm not. No. And I know that I eat a lot of stuff that's probably grown, and I'm not dying. I feel like I'm pretty firmly alive. So the Monsanto stuff's not doing much to me, and neither's Roundup. I'm not drinking it. They don't advise you to.
No, I haven't had a glass in a while.
Yeah, no glasses of Roundup. Yeah, people are bathing in it. No. So it doesn't cause the cancer. So it was the Agricultural Society Health Organization, something like that. Yeah, somebody looked into it. Somebody of great importance looked into this, right? And it didn't affect Monsanto's share price. Closed the week at $118.30. So, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket for Monsanto. They're never going to win. Yeah, because people think they're making just alien beans, right? Like it's just all these, genetically modified alien things, right? Like you're eating alien corn. Like
definitely,
it's not. Don't eat corn anyways. Corn's garbage food.
Definitely,
yeah. Don't eat corn, Monsanto or otherwise. So I don't know. It didn't seem to cause cancer, unless you drink a bunch of it.
No, not lately.
Yeah, not lately.
Anyways, that wraps up Wednesday. Let's look at Thursday, November 9th. We got a couple earnings here. Let's start with Disney.
So again, we're just gonna rip earnings. It's just Disney. The earnings weren't great, but it was the call that was good. Iger got on there and he said, like, we're going to start this ESPN Plus. Is that what it's called? Like, I think it's going to be next spring. It's going to have so much stuff, like, ready to order. Like, you could have just pretty much everything. They said they're going to have, it's just tens of thousands of events on there. So that it's going to be phenomenal, I imagine. I mean, it's Disney, right? So the call was average. It's a down season for movies right now. Like, the parks were up a little bit, but I mean, movies, it's the fall. they're waiting for this push around the December time, right? Like, I mean, that's when you're going to make your money. That's when they do make their money. They announced there's going to be a new trilogy with Star Wars. That's huge.
That is huge.
Yeah. So I mean, they talked a lot about the Disney streaming service. They talked about how the pricing is probably going to be cheaper than Netflix. How they're going to have stuff from Pixar, from Disney, from Marvel, from Lucasfilm, Star Wars. That there's going to be like I think 5 original movies every year, and you know those are going to have like budgets.
Huge.
That's not going to be like a joke, right? So Disney's earnings was, while the earnings call specifically, and I said this during it, like, you're making me look bad, Disney. Like, I always hype you up as such a good company, and then so it didn't look great from that standpoint. The Disney actual call was great. I mean, because when Iger got on there and gave the conference call and really gave everybody an insight as to what's going on, it just reaffirmed what I think we all knew. That like this stuff is moving ahead the way that we expect it to be moving ahead, but Disney. Yeah. Disney's they're gonna
giant.
Yeah, they're gonna make it happen.
Oh, yeah,
they're gonna make it happen. They're gonna put the pressure on Netflix. There's no doubt about it. So like, not the greatest earnings call, especially in an up year.
Right.
Maybe we're all over expecting with some of these companies. You know, like a company like Disney, like how many more people are going to go to Disneyland as opposed to how many more people might buy a new Explorer. True, you know, like I'm not sure if that's necessarily the same type of a metric to measure things by. If you have more money, you might spend more money out to dinner than you would planning a trip to Disneyland.
Probably,
specifically.
Yeah.
So I don't know how those metrics really affect things. So it's a really up economy. Maybe we're over expecting, but the earnings call, what they're planning on doing for the future. This is what we're talking about with Snapchat, where Snapchat doesn't have this.
Yeah.
Disney has the future mapped out.
Oh, definitely.
Don't get it twisted. Disney knows the future already. Yeah.
How did Nvidia do for earnings?
Yeah, good call. Video games, right?
Yeah, they do like graphic cards.
But I mean it's just video games. I mean they're just a phenomenon. I mean I don't. We've covered this. I don't play video games. You don't play video games. I mean you have a console, do you not?
I do have a PS4, like if I watch like Netflix or like YouTube on it.
Okay, so you've got I don't think I've had a console since maybe a 2.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a PlayStation 2. It's been a long time. Never had an Xbox.
No.
I'm not sure, right? Like played a little bit of video games, but video games are massive.
Massive, yeah, they are.
It's massive. I mean, it's unbelievable. The guys I work with have been talking about this Call of Duty that just came out, and like,
the World War II or something.
Yeah, some of the consoles have been having server issues, while some of them have not. Like, so people are obviously having this PlayStation versus Microsoft, Sony versus Microsoft.
I never even hear about that.
Yeah.
But I just use mine for like a multimedia machine. Like.
Yeah, but I guess people are fanboys, right? Everybody likes. So the good earnings call by Nvidia. I mean, the video game industry is amazing. I am just so out of touch with what it is, and I mean, I'm not even old, and I'm cool. It's not that I'm not cool, right? Like, I'm not trying to undersell myself here. Like, I think I'm doing just fine, but the video game thing is just
doesn't float my boat.
And it's cool. It's cool.
It's
so cool, right?
Like, I see some of my friends play it. And
dude,
it's like, wow, totally, that looks good.
Dude, outside this door right now, right?
Yeah.
Our homie's playing
Madden
right now. Brand new Madden. He's ripping it, right? Like, we're not. I'm not hating. I just don't know it. It's not my style. We're busy.
Yeah.
But Nvidia is doing fantastic. They're in an industry that's just growing. The growth is going to be exponential over time. I can't help but like almost everything good about the video game industry. I don't get to enjoy the video games as much because I enjoy the earnings calls and I enjoy the way the growth goes on so much, and I'm watching things from a bird's eye view as an investor, you know, like as someone who's managing what basically is becoming probably the world's biggest pastime. Probably.
Besides like watching TV or something like that.
I would think maybe this might be bigger, like at some point.
Yeah. I definitely think because
if it's not already, it might be bigger, right? Like so, Nvidia's. I mean, they're right in the mix. Yeah. They make the GPUs that are the top of the line stuff. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're right in the mix. It was a good earnings call, really good earnings call.
Well, staying on the video game topic, let's talk about EA buying Respawn.
Oh yeah, so again, a company they've worked with for a long time. EA, they didn't have a great earnings call. I think that was last week, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Yeah, something like that. Right? It was not the greatest, but this was a move that I think didn't really result from a bad earnings call. This was a move they were making because they've just worked with this company for a long time. They know what they're getting, and I think they want to bring this stuff in house. They paid $455 million. They think they're going to be able to turn this money over relatively quickly, is what they said. Which let's see it happen. Like they definitely have the reach. It's not like EA has a problem getting their stuff to market, right? So they're out there with the best of the best in the video game world. So bringing in more stuff in-house that gives you more A, control, and B, reap all the profits might be better for them because it brings in a lot of good titles. They bring in Titanfall. They bring in the Titanfall franchise because Titanfall's already come out, right? This is definitely the franchise that's being worked on by Respawn. I'm sure they're going to keep a lot of these employees employed. They're not getting rid of these guys. These are their guys, right? Like, these are just guys from a different company that they've been working with. So they're going to keep these guys. So they've got Titanfall. They've got a Star Wars video game. I guess they've got a pretty big budget that they're working on, and a virtual reality thing that's fairly big, right? And we know virtual reality, again, not dominating on the profit margins right now. Like, it's not anything you look at and go like, whoa, look at the money or look at the numbers, but you see the growth, you see the reviews, you see how many companies are into it. Like, and I realize it's not taken off to this point, but the idea that it won't at some point with just how technologically advanced it's becoming, I think it's a matter of time of what company does it. I don't have any idea which company will. I'm not about to tell you which company will, but every time a company like EA brings in a big project that's in virtual reality, it probably does hedge to you a little bit more the chance that you are that company that breaks out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's about the only way I can put it together because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if it breaks out first quarter of 2018 or if it takes till 2022. We don't know. All of a sudden, the technology will go like this. Virtual reality will become so tangible. People will want it. It'll be so fun. And the tipping point will just tip over. Yeah, it's bound to happen. I mean, it's something that's been lingering around for
quite some time.
Oh my God, since Nintendo did the Virtual Boy. I mean, this has been This has been lingering for 30 years. So it's quite some time. It's only a matter of time because right now it's pretty refined from what I've been told.
That's what I've been told too. It looks pretty good. Let's move on to Apple's iPhone X freezing issue that they've been having. I think there was an update that just came out that kind of fixed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. A couple of my friends have an iPhone X.
Oh, let's hope it got fixed because, I heard it's just like cold temperature was the freezing. They said it was software, not hardware. So let's hope it got fixed. I guess that's what it was, right? It's just that stuff was. I mean, Apple's iPhone X is obviously big news. So like any kind of like hiccups is going to like make a little bit of news. So at the time, things just weren't working in cold weather. The phone was freezing up. It said it took like a couple of seconds for the phone to kind of find itself again and everything to start working again. It was just it wasn't non-responsive for like ever. It was just non-responsive for a period of time. But I guess maybe a software update.
Yeah, I heard it came out last night or something. It says it fixes the issue.
We're getting news from Anthony. This is a first. Anthony normally just. He's normally just reading the news.
Just reading the news.
You're breaking the news.
Breaking the news.
Okay, maybe there was a software update. Apple's iPhone X doesn't freeze anymore, says Anthony from Wall Street Breakdown.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Don't take that from Cody.
Let's move on to this Facebook putting pressure on Yelp.
Yeah, well, I mean, Facebook's going to start doing a lot of this review stuff as well. So they're getting, they want to do it from a friend standpoint. You don't care what, I guess, well, maybe some people don't care what like a stranger says about places. Right. How much a stranger likes something. You don't know that stranger, but you know Dave, right?
For sure,
you know Dave.
I know Dave.
You know Dave, bro. We all know Dave. Me and Dave and Billy, we go way back, right? So everybody goes way back. And you know that, like, Dave's a pain. That every time you go out with Dave, it's like, geez, Dave, like, come on, why do you got to be such a drag? So you see Dave, like, say something's not good, but then you also see, like, I don't know, Steve, and you know Steve, like, Steve's easygoing, Steve likes things, and you like a lot of things Steve likes, and Steve says he likes something. That beats like 50 different reviews from people you don't know. Because Steve, who you rep a lot of stuff Steve likes, Steve is saying it's good, and Dave's being Dave, like usual, and come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. So Facebook wants to put pressure on Yelp. I mean, they're going to put pressure on Yelp that way, because I think I would take reviews from my friends. I
for sure would. Yeah.
I take restaurant recommendations from friends way more than I would take a restaurant recommendation from the internet.
Oh, for sure.
It's not that if I was looking something up that I wouldn't look at the review. It's just that I'm not looking something up as much as I'm having someone say, "Dude, you got to try this place to eat."
For sure. Yeah.
That's I think the big difference, right? I'm not so hard up to look for places to eat because I know where to eat that I'm looking things up randomly that I have to read reviews. Right. But I get people tell me. So if it's coming across my Facebook feed that like. People I like, people I know, people whose opinion matters, really like this pizza place that's by my place, and I really like pizza. If it's cheat meal day, bro, I might take that recommendation on Facebook
For sure,
You
yeah.
better believe it, right? So Yelp better worry about Facebook's in everybody's hands all the time.
Yeah.
Yelp is not. Yelp might be there on people's phones, but it's not in their hand like Facebook.
Right.
Facebook, that badge comes up on your phone. You're touching that Facebook icon. You know
Oh,
you
for
are.
sure. Yeah. It's
So,
addictive.
yeah, so Facebook has your attention.
For sure.
Yeah,
All the
Yelp,
time.
not Yelp.
Not Yelp.
No.
No, not at all. Let's move on to Friday, November 10th. We got a Hasbro to take over Mattel.
Well, Mattel's struggling, right? Like we've
Yeah.
talked about, it could be like a $16 billion company if they put them together. I'm not sure if they go together because, okay, so we talked about this. Regulators on one end would maybe say that this makes too much of a monopolization of that industry, but on the other hand, that industry is so small and just really not doing well to begin with that it might help everybody get a little stronger. So Hasbro closed the week 91.45. I think that was up a little bit on the news. This happened like right at the end of the week. I don't know, man. Like, if they could get it done, I could see it. But it would just kind of bother me to take all the Mattel logos off things. Like, I mean, I'm sure they would keep the brand, but you would always know it's Hasbro now.
Yeah.
It would be like when the WWE took like WCW. Like, it took it away. It took it away. It took the competition away. For me,
Yeah.
it would take the competition away. I'm a big toy fan. Those two companies are really iconic. Like, Lego doesn't get in there because Lego
No.
does something different.
Very
It's
different.
great stuff, but they don't get in there the same
No.
way. Hasbro and Mattel are neck and neck for the licenses. There is no Kenner anymore.
No,
There's no
that-
Galoob.
no, nothing.
Those companies don't exist like they used to
No.
when we were kids, right? So like these two companies, the companies that make Star Wars, that make Barbies, that make G.I. Joe,
Master of the Universe,
these are these
yeah.
companies, right? We know these companies. If they all merge to one, if it makes the toy industry stronger, would I be okay with it? Yeah, because I want more toys.
Sure,
But, like, with
yeah.
Toys R Us closing and stuff, do I think we're going to get more toys? Maybe not at retail.
No.
It might not be near as fun at
Like those
actual
online
retail. For
subscription services that you buy your toys on.
whatever. Yeah, there's going to be places where you don't get to go in and actually see toys.
Yeah.
Which is what makes toys the best part. Is you walk in and you weren't expecting to see something,
And it's right
and
there.
it's right there, and you like fall in love with
Yeah.
something like on a store
Oh,
shelf,
for
right?
sure,
Like that
yeah,
you weren't
that's the
expecting.
best.
Oh, it's the best, right? Like you don't want that to go away, but if this needs to happen to keep the toy industry alive, like Hasbro buying Mattel, it could be worse.
Right.
It could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse.
At least Hasbro knows the toy industry.
Oh, for sure.
At least they'll take care of the Mattel brands properly. They would. They
Yeah.
would definitely feed into the legacy of Mattel. They would. They wouldn't. They wouldn't try to bury it.
No, I don't think they would.
they wouldn't
No,
try to
no.
bury it at all. I don't think so. Hasbro knows how toy fans are.
Exactly.
Yeah, they know how toy fans are.
Yeah.
So at least it's a good company that would get it. I wish Hasbro and Mattel were both strong enough that they could. I wish there was more toy companies. I wish,
sure,
I wish
yeah.
Hasbro and Mattel were strong enough. But I
Yeah.
mean, you could wish on a star all you want, bro. It doesn't
You
make no
could, yeah.
difference,
No,
right? Like,
no,
that's
no.
not gonna make you no money. So
No. Let's move on to, we have a Boeing story.
yeah, this comes out over the like. So the Dubai Air Show started. The 2017 Dubai Air Show.
Yeah.
There was big news, like started off, like the Emirates airline, which is huge, it's been one of the biggest airlines in the world, bought 40 787-10 Dreamliners from Boeing. That's $15.1 billion. That was a huge announcement to like
Oh.
start it off. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's big news this weekend. Deliveries aren't going to start till 2022 because we know the Dreamliners are way, way backlogged.
Yes,
that
they are,
stuff
yeah.
is so far backlogged. They make, 18 a month? I think it's getting up to
Something like that, yeah.
19 a month. I think they get up to next quarter is what they're going to push production up to. So it's not a whole lot, right? Like,
No.
So it's really backlogged, but it's big money. So that was a huge news. Boeing always with the huge news.
Oh, always.
Right, Airbus and Bombardier, these companies scramble to try to keep up to what Boeing does. Like every time
Yeah, they
you
do,
hear
yeah.
anything about Boeing, it's always just positive.
Positive,
They're just
oh, yeah.
they're hammering through all the time. So good news on the weekend. That was I mean, I'm not overly shocked. I'm just always impressed.
Right.
You know, Boeing's such a good company. It's impossible to be like overly shocked by it. You see this stuff, it comes out, there's these big announcements, 15.1 billion, like these Dreamliners. I mean, it's just, Emirates Airlines brings in these, this gorgeous, they're gorgeous planes, these big body, long haul
Yeah.
planes, right? Like these are big time. But I expect it. Boeing's such a good company, I expect it. It's there's a reason they're up so much on the Dow this year, and the Dow's up just record highs all the time.
Oh, yeah, they're a massive company.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the facts of it, and it is what it is. Boeing's
Yeah.
one of the best companies in the world.
Yeah.
Any sector, bar none. We've talked about this. One of the best companies in the world. Yeah.
We have this Bitcoin volatility story.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over the place. It was down 15 or 20% in a day from 6,500 down to 5,500. It's back up to like 6 something now. Like, I mean, it's just moving around. It's typical.
Jumps,
It's
yeah.
typical Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like, anybody who tells you it's not speculative, you look at like the intraday moves.
Oh, yeah, it's
And
always
it's
bouncing
so
around.
scary. Like, it's just the most ridiculous thing. But it's on mainstream news. I click on CNBC.
That's right, it is.
And
Yeah.
it was the first thing I seen was this Bitcoin story was talking
Yeah.
about where Bitcoin's moving around. And it's just, it gets to the point where you need to almost remove yourself from it. Like, the Bitcoin part is like the salacious, like, where
Right.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are doing.
almost is, yeah.
It's not like
Oh, yeah.
real financial news
No,
you can
no.
use. So I don't know. It is what it is. Bitcoin's moving around like usual. Don't bet your money on it. It's basically
Yeah.
the roulette wheel. So
So we have another Tesla story here.
yeah, Tesla's got the semi-truck, right? We talked about earlier.
Yeah.
We were gonna have another. The semi-truck's coming apparently Thursday night this week, right? 8 p.m. Eastern. Elon Musk put out a text like,
They're
or a
gonna reveal
tweet.
it, huh?
Yeah, they're gonna reveal it, and they don't know nothing about it, so they don't
Yeah,
know if it's
yeah.
gonna be like some sort of weird super concept vehicle.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just like a design or they actually have one like mocked up already.
I would imagine they're gonna
You think
pull
so?
something out, right?
How has nobody ever heard about this or been leaked out in this day of age where everything's getting leaked?
I
You
don't
think
know.
They would have been like something like,
I guess Tesla runs a pretty tight ship, maybe.
I guess.
I have no idea. Yeah, it's a really tight ship.
Really tight.
Something. It's going to be
Yeah.
something. We're going to get to see something because I'm definitely looking forward to where
Yeah.
this is going to go.
Oh, for sure.
Elon Musk is hyping it like he always does, right? Like,
Yeah.
But for nobody to have a look at it yet, I would imagine we're going to see.
You think it's
I better be impressed.
for sure?
I better be impressed.
So
Like,
you think it's going to be like battery powered? You think
because
that-
if people aren't impressed, people are going to look at this and go like, "This is not cool." Like
Right.
it doesn't do anything for me. I don't see why this is like relevant. And B, you can't get production on this other stuff going. You've been wasting your time doing this.
Yeah,
As a shareholder,
exactly,
people are going to
yeah.
be chapped about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're not going to be impressed that you're wasting time on what amount to like frivolous.
Right.
Like frivolous stuff where you're doing it for your own sake. You're not
Yeah.
doing it for the company's profitability, which is ultimately what shareholders care about.
Right,
They don't
yeah.
care about your like personal agenda.
No,
Once you become
no.
publicly traded, it's
Yeah.
not about your personal agenda.
No,
it's
not
about
anymore.
making money. So
Yeah.
Elon Musk better perform Thursday. There better be
Yeah,
something
something,
tangible.
right.
There better be something tangible. But I look forward to it. I always look forward to Tesla. So
I wonder if it's
going
going to be like all battery. Like I wonder how far it can go and how much it can carry before like the charge starts draining like substantially.
Better be impressive, right?
Better be.
Better be
Yeah,
impressive.
no
Like
doubt.
I was saying, better be impressive.
We have one last story here about oil.
Yeah, so I mean, oil's been. You look at the price of gas here. We live in Alberta. I mean, oil's going up.
Yeah,
So
no,
oil's
no.
like they say that it's found some resistance around $57 a barrel. I mean, it's up about 35% from the low from 2017. There's people talking oil over $60 a barrel. I mean, when you talk about relative to where oil used to be, it's not that much money. I mean, it's not much.
No,
I don't.
no,
It doesn't
no.
justify the price at the pump when you look at here. Like
No,
it doesn't. When you relate to when oil was over $100 a barrel and the price of the pump was almost comparable.
Yeah.
To right now, inflation hasn't been that much, so we're like,
No.
we're getting duped on that. We know.
Oh, yeah.
We understand petroleum producers of Canada what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, we get it, but it's not. Oil's still moving. It's still moving in a right direction, and you see a lot of earnings call from a lot of oil companies, right? BP, Exxon.
Yeah,
Shell,
definitely,
like Royal Dutch Shell. It's been good, right?
Yeah.
It's been good earnings from a lot of these companies, and they're upstream, downstream. I mean, they're from discovery to pumping it to refining it to selling it at retail. They do the whole nine, and these companies are doing really well. So I mean, oil because they're from what I've heard, a lot of these companies are really they're at about a $49 or $48 price per barrel break-even point. So it's selling on the open market 55, 56 a barrel. Buddy, you're making good money.
You're making good money.
If your
yeah.
break-even's 48 or 49, like
Yeah.
you're making good money. You're making $6, $7, $8 a barrel, right? Like you're doing okay.
Yeah.
So, oil's going up. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know that there's anything that says oil isn't sustainable at a decent price. Because I think a lot of people thought oil was really going to get kind of boxed out in the last few years. Like years ago, people thought going forward, oil was really going to get boxed out by solar, battery powered, and the revolution hasn't really taken place.
You're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though
Yeah.
it's there, the revolution hasn't taken place.
No.
Oil is still pretty generously needed. People
Oh,
still
yeah,
consume
everything,
it.
yeah.
It's still consumed.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody using battery, any kind
No,
of. I
no
know
machinery,
the,
no
the
nothing.
thought of
It's all
it is
run on
great.
fossil
It's
fuel.
out there in the ether, but it's not practical on a day by day, person by person level.
No,
whereas
no.
fuel is being used. So, like, I think oil's going to find probably a decent cushion to where it's going to stop, and you're going to find that oil is probably seen as more valuable going forward still than it used to be looked at when people thought, okay, first off, we hit peak oil and then people were terrified. Then fracking kind of came on. Then oil became where it was en masse. There was oil everywhere.
Right,
Everybody
yeah.
had oil. Everybody was oil independent. The U.S. basically became oil independent, right? Like it started to create jobs in oil for the United
Yeah.
States, excessive jobs. And oil became where people thought, well, this technology is going to take over for our oil. Oil's everywhere. But the fact of the matter is oil's still needed, and it seems to be finding its way up in price.
Definitely, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go, man.
That completes the news.
That's the news for
Yeah,
like
that's-
last week. We
Last
banged this
week,
out.
yep.
That was 45 minutes. I think people probably, the earnings, it's easier this way.
I think so.
If
yeah.
they want to hear the
earnings,
numbers,
they can just
watch the
yeah.
video where
Right.
like, yeah, there's tons of links up and like, yeah, but like watch our videos definitely. But if you don't need the full earnings breakdown, I think it's better that
No.
we talk.
Yeah,
Listen to the
yeah,
news,
for
right?
sure.
Like we'll talk about what's going on, right?
Right.
Like if you notice something that you're not digging, if there's a way that we're talking that you're not, or if we're not breaking the news up properly or something, like I think we give a pretty good.
I think we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we give a good breaking point. Like
Yeah.
I carry on, I know that, but I try to stay on topic pretty good. And you give a
I
good,
think you do pretty good, yeah.
you give good bullet points on where we're
Yeah.
moving on. So if people notice anything, feel free to give notes. But I think we're breaking it down. That was the news for
Yeah.
the week.
That was the news for the week.
That really felt like the news. Like there really wasn't. There was that. There's
yeah.
a lot of merger talk. There was a few decent earnings, and other than that, I mean, there's we're cruising into the Christmas
cruising,
season
we're
here.
definitely
The
cruising
Christmas
here.
season is rocking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're almost out of earnings. Earnings is almost done here.
Thank God.
The earnings.
Actually, this earnings call wasn't as bad as, let's say, like 4 months ago's earnings.
Yeah,
call.
earnings is heavyweight though.
It is,
Earnings is
definitely,
really
yeah.
heavyweight. It takes a lot out of you, but it's fun.
It is fun.
And I have a good
Definitely.
time.
Yeah.
We're having a good time doing this podcast.
For sure,
Podcast number 4.
Number
bro.
4 done.
Dude, let's get some sleep.
Let's get some sleep. Yeah.
Thanks for stopping in. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown.
I'm Anthony from Wall Street Breakdown.
You guys have yourself a marvelous, marvelous Sunday evening. We will see you tomorrow, Monday, for more financial news.